After being reborn, I decided not to entangle with Michael Fu anymore. He said he was going to the county town to take the Gaokao, then return to City A to live. I remained indifferent and wished him success. The Fu family parents, out of gratitude, insisted on arranging for me to work in City A. But Michael complained about my unhygienic living habits, so I moved to the factory dormitory. In the end, he said, our engagement would cause a misunderstanding with his beloved. I nodded indifferently and got engaged to someone else on the spot. For this life's test, I chose all the opposite answers from my previous life, just because in my past life, after persistently marrying Michael, he subjected me to 30 years of cold violence. He and his beloved, deeply in love, kept me in the dark. After I learned the truth, he refused to divorce for the sake of his reputation. In the end, I fell ill with resentment and died in despair. This time, I just want to live well and create a world of my own. Later, at my engagement ceremony with my fiancé, Michael pulled me into the attic and said, Alicia, didn't you say you would only love me for a lifetime? Does your promise still hold? Chapter 1. Captain, the tractor broke down again. We won't finish plowing before dark, and we won't be able to water the fields tomorrow. My father took the dry tobacco, handed over by the captain with a bitter expression. In the middle of the field, there was a handheld tractor. Everyone took turns tirelessly cranking it, but the tractor remained deflated on the wall. The large character's vast world, full of opportunities, were prominently shining. My eyes welded up with heat. I was reborn to the year 1980, before I married Michael. In my previous life, my grandfather arranged a marriage between me and Michael. He was an educated youth assigned to our family. I stuck to him every day. The precious eggs were saved for him, and the fragrant white buns were saved for him. Helped him wash clothes and shoes. Eagerly did the dirty and tiring work. But he didn't have the slightest affection for me, focusing solely on reviewing his books. In my previous life, it was on the afternoon when the tractor broke down. Michael's tall figure cast a shadow over the field ridges. He frowned and said to me, after attending the Gaokao in the county town, I'll return to City A. I cried and stubbornly clung to Michael, refusing to let go. Desperately followed him back to City A, and as I wished, married him. Looking at Michael approaching from a distance, I just wanted to spit at him. Michael stood before me as if from a past life, frowning at me. Alicia, after attending the Gaokao in the county town, I'll return to City A. I hadn't spoken yet when my father's voice interrupted. Alicia, water, fill the engine. My mind was preoccupied with the tractor, but Michael grabbed me. Don't worry, our Fu family always repays kindness. We'll help you arrange a job. I smiled calmly. The Gaokao is tough. I wish you success. Without the heart to see Michael's shocked expression, I ran forward and handed the water bottle to my father. My father poured the water into the engine, grasped the tractor's crank, and I hurriedly pressed him down with disdain. Don't shake it too much. It might be a motor failure or a fuel system blockage. If you keep shaking it, it won't be fixable. The strong men around the tractor laughed. Alicia is mimicking the technician quite well. Ha, ha, ha. Lee's daughter is so quiet, and today she made a new spectacle. I want to finish plowing this field before dark. Quickly bring the screwdriver and wrench. I looked serious and spoke calmly, more imposing than the town's technician. Dad hesitantly handed over the tools, and I impatiently took them, swiftly dismantled the motor, fiddled with it for a while, and then put it back together. I pursed my lips and turned the crank. Chug, chug, chug. The tractor emitted an exhilarating black smoke. Chapter 2. Everyone stared in astonishment. As I wiped the engine oil on my dad's clothes, calmly sat in the driver's seat, and started the tractor. Don't worry. The plowing task will be completed before dark. Everyone applauded me, old fellow. Your daughter is amazing. My dad looked surprised, scratched his head and chuckled. Of course, look at who her dad is. At this moment, Michael was also standing on the ridge watching me. The sunlight shines on my face as I grip the steering wheel, full of vigor. In my previous life, I didn't waste my time following the master in the military factory. At this moment, a familiar figure appeared at the edge of the field. My heart skipped a beat as I recognized her as Julia, Michael's beloved. Michael, have you finished the work in the cowshed? What are you staring at here? 4. The production captain's shout drowned out the tractor. Julia raised her head to argue. Captain. His work was always done by Alicia before. The Gaokao is coming soon. These things shouldn't disturb Michael, brother. The captain sneered. I don't care about Gaokao. Alicia is a capable person in our team and can't work for you. Hurry up and leave. Saying this, he went elsewhere to supervise. At this moment, my tractor happened to arrive at this location. Julia pulled a face and waved at me. I originally didn't want to pay attention, but my father still thought I was eager, like in my past life. So he quickly stepped forward to take over for me. I jumped off the vehicle looking impatient. What's the matter? Michael gave me a cold look. The captain said, You didn't do the work in the cowshed today. Isn't that your job? I retorted nonchalantly. Michael's handsome brows furrowed. Alicia, how can I hold a book doing such dirty work? Julia glared at me threateningly. If you don't help Michael, brother, I won't talk to you. Looking at Julia's charming face, I recalled the foolish things from my past life. At that time, besides liking Michael, I also liked Julia. She was good-looking, with fashionable clothes and hairstyle, and was a talented girl, preparing for the gala. I didn't play with the village girls, but treated her as a sister. Michael is first in my heart. Julia is second. All the good things were saved for this couple, but I never expected that. Michael and Julia were involved together, keeping it from me for decades. I smirked coldly. Why should I help him? He doesn't give me work points or food coupons. If you don't want to talk, then don't. I don't like talking to you either. Julia was stunned on the spot. In the past, as long as she gave me a look, I would try to please her. Why has it changed today? Julia's eyes instantly turned red, brimming with tears. Michael, brother, look at her. Sacrificing your review time for petty gains. Not helping you with work. Michael raised his handsome face, glaring at me with anger, and said in a deep, Julia is all alone, and this is how you bully her. Work points and food coupons. You're simply narrow-minded. I still have to help Julia with her studies. Go and finish the work in the cowshed. It didn't sound like a request, more like a command. Michael, do it if you want. After throwing out those words, I turned to leave. But Julia grabbed my arm. I shook her off forcefully, and with a thud, Julia fell to the ground and burst into tears. Michael was so distressed that his eyes turned red at the corners, and he stepped forward to push me to the ground. Alicia, don't go too far. My head hit the clod of earth behind me, causing a wave of dizziness. He hurriedly helped Julia up, brushing off the dust. How are you? Does it hurt watching him and Julia so close? I couldn't help but recall scenes from my past life. In the last year of my life, I saw Michael and Julia holding a child with my own eyes. A family of 3 full of joy. Michael's smile, so bright and warm, was a smile I could never have. As Michael's wife, I endure his emotional coldness every day. I feel like my heart is pierced with countless wounds, then trampled in the snow. Chapter 3. In the evening, Lee's home. Michael entered the kitchen smelling of cow dung. As usual, he had to go. Otherwise, the captain wouldn't give him food coupons and work points. He glanced at me, and I returned his look with disdain. As we passed each other, he asked quietly, Alicia, where's the egg? Yes. Every other day, I would secretly save a boiled egg for him. Warm, fragrant boiled egg. I stepped into the courtyard and loudly said, "The eggs from my house are 20 cents each. I'm selling them to buy medicine for Grandma. If you want to eat, pay first." Father and Mother stood at the door, looking at me in surprise. Michael was furious. "You, Alicia, you're just a shrew." I stood in the dark courtyard holding a rice bowl, thinking of the past life. Aunt Jane's daughter, Zhang Maisie, told her that every other day, Michael and Julia would hide behind the haystack to share an egg. At that time, I didn't believe it. I think Sister Showing is jealous that I have such a good arranged marriage and such a good sister, Julia. But now I understand. He was being rude to me because I didn't give him eggs to help him. "Please, Julia." Before slamming the door and leaving, he threw down a "Wash the clothes in the basin. I'm going to the county town the day after tomorrow." In the past, without him saying a word, I would voluntarily wash his clothes and bed sheets. But now I haven't even glanced at that basin. The next morning, Michael, with a sullen face, grabbed me. "Why didn't you wash the clothes? How can you be so unhygienic? It's your clothes, not mine." Julia appeared at my doorstep again, gesturing at me. "You're a girl. How can you be so careless? Don't you wash your own clothes? Why not wash them together with Michael's?" I sneered. "If you love cleanliness, why don't you wash his clothes too?" Julia's face turned pale, her lips trembling. I'm a decent girl. How can I wash a man's clothes? Aren't I a decent girl, too?" I retorted incredulously. You are Michael's arranged marriage partner." Naturally, after saying this, she covered her tear-streaked face and turned to run away. Michael gripped my wrist, his face twisted with rage, as if I had done something unforgivable to him. "Next time if I see you make her cry again, I won't let you off." After saying that, he went after his beloved to comfort her. Julia, don't pay attention to that crazy woman." I rubbed my swollen wrist, with only one thought in my mind. I wish those lunatics would just leave. The farther the better. To stay away from them, I discussed with my parents and moved to the east end of the village to live with the blacksmith's daughter. The blacksmith's daughter is also in her late teens, but her father just passed away. Fortunately, she is strong and knows how to forge iron. No girls in the village are willing to associate with her, and no men are willing to marry her. But having been reborn, I know she is self-reliant and admirable. I work the bellows for her while she hammers away at the iron, and we enjoy ourselves. In the blink of an eye, it's time for the wheat harvest, and soon it will be time for the Gaokao. It was drizzling that day. Michael still came to the blacksmith shop. I splashed a bucket of water, soaking his cloth shoes. He immediately shouted angrily, "Alicia, are you blind while working?" I retorted, "Michael, are you blind while walking?" He frowned and sat down in front of me, his clothes emitting a disgusting, sour smell. In my previous life, I was infatuated with the soapy scent on him, which I had washed for him. "Speak. What's the matter?" "My brother Stephen is here. He's taking you to work at the military factory in City A, and our arranged marriage. Let's forget about it." I was taken aback. Stephen, Chapter 4. In my previous life, under the arrangement of the Fu family, I went to City A. 2 months later, the fighter pilot Stephen Fu died in a car accident. His dream of flying came to an abrupt end. Unlike Michael, Stephen was noble and elegant, and treated people sincerely. When I was working at the factory, he asked someone to take care of me, and even gave me a brand new bicycle. Such a good person must not die. Perhaps because I looked sad. Michael thought it was because of him. "Alicia, you don't have to be so sad. I won't marry you. But my family has arranged a job for you. It's a rare opportunity." Unwilling to listen to his chatter, I suddenly stood up and ran out of the blacksmith shop, running into the house. I was like a drenched rat, water dripping all over me. Stephen, dressed in a crisp military uniform, stood up and smiled at me. He was still the Steven from the past life, who made people feel as if they were bathed in a spring breeze. Steven, you're here. Meeting him for the first time in this life. Blurting out like that was truly not reserved. But I couldn't care less. My heart was full of the urge to tell him, on September 20th, whatever you do, don't drive. Julia mocked me from the side. What? Michael didn't want to have an arranged marriage with you. So now you're after Steven. Michael also chimed in. My brother would be interested in her. Steven frowned and stopped him. Shut up, Michael. Is this how you behave outside? As he spoke, he handed me a towel. Dry your hair. Steven spoke with my father for a long time, and finally decided that, after Michael finished the Gaokao, he would take us back to City A. However, the engagement cannot be rushed. We need to wait until we return to the city, and see how Michael and I get along. I let out a long sigh. In my previous life, I married Michael. Firstly, because I was persistent with him. And secondly, because the Fu family parents were determined to repay my family's kindness. Steven, when leaving the village, I mustered the courage to step forward. Steven, can I speak with you privately? Michael chuckled. Are you really going to cling to my brother? Julia sneered. I didn't expect you to fall in love with everyone you meet. Steven gave them a stern look as a warning, and led me to the roadside. Alicia, what do you want to say? I frowned, serious and earnest. I urge you to always remember to drive safely. He smiled and patted my head. All right, thank you, Alicia, for the reminder. See you next time. After Steven left, rumors about me began to spread in the village. The captain took me to repair the tractor, and someone laughed. Alicia, Michael doesn't fancy you. And now you're interested in his pilot brother. Alicia can't get the swan, so now she's after the plane. Ha, ha, ha. Needless to say, these were all rumors spread by Julia. But having lived another life, I am indifferent to these rumors. I live for myself, not for what others say. Truly wise people will not be led astray by others. The captain with hands on his hips shouted on my. Can't chew your tongue enough, earned enough work points. Ate too much. Keep talking about these baseless things. And if Alicia doesn't repair the tractor for the team, I'll never let it go with you. He nodded at me again and said, I heard that after the Gaokao, you're going to follow them to City A. So what will we do if this tractor breaks down? I wiped the engine oil off my hands and smiled. Captain, don't worry, I know the issues with this tractor. I'll write a maintenance guide for my dad, so he can fix it. According to the notebook. Chapter 5, the captain was full of surprise. Girl, how come I didn't know you could repair and write? The old Lee's home really has produced a fine offspring. That night, I wrote the maintenance notes on the back of my brother's notebook. I worked hard for several days and nights, intending to hand it over to the captain. But the notebook was nowhere to be found. I was rummaging through the room when Julia walked in with a few female, educated youths. Alicia, are you looking for this broken notebook? Give it back to me. I stepped forward to fight for it. Those female educated youths pinned me down, cursing with foul language. Michael, staying at your house is one thing, but you dare to make a move on Steven. With a slap, Julia hit me across the face. Her beautiful face twisted like a witch's. Do you think going to City A makes you a city person? Dream on. She picked up the repair notebook that I had been working on for several days, and I was suppressed, only able to watch helplessly as she tore the notebook to pieces. In front of me, page by page. The farce wasn't over yet. Michael suddenly appeared. Julia, what are you doing? Julia's vicious face immediately turned weak and pitiful. Michael, she was making up things about tractor repairs. I was really afraid she would ruin the village's tractors. So I tore up the notebook. Michael looked at the red marks on my face and my disheveled hair, gave me a disdainful glance and said lightly, Julia, You did well, but after all, this is in the village. Don't make too much of a scene. Watching him walk away, Julia looked at me smugly. If you dare to get close to Stephen again, you and this notebook will meet the same fate. There are no extra pens or notebooks left. The previous pencil stub is already as short as it can be. I wiped away my tears and cleaned up the fragments on the ground.